You've probably heard the buzzwords, right? Black gold, the king of mushrooms. Chaga is absolutely everywhere, and it's being hailed as this incredible powerhouse superfood. But what's the real story behind this, well, strange-looking fungus? In this explainer, we're going to cut right through all the marketing and take a hard look at the actual science.
I mean, the claims are really bold. We're talking about a miracle tonic for boosting your immune system, fighting off inflammation, even helping your body against serious diseases. It has built up this massive reputation as one of nature's most powerful remedies. And you know, it sounds incredible, maybe a little too incredible. And that's the big question, isn't it? Our goal here is pretty simple. We want to separate the powerful marketing story from the cold, hard scientific reality. We're just going to follow the evidence, step by step, to see what we really know about chaga and, just as importantly, what we don't.
Okay, so to really get the hype, we have to go back in time a bit. Chaga's reputation didn't just pop up overnight. No, it's built on centuries of traditional use, and that's what really laid the groundwork for its modern superfood status.
So what exactly is this stuff? Well, chaga, or Inonotus obliquus if you want to get technical, isn't what you typically picture as a mushroom. It's actually a parasite, a fungus that looks like a big lump of burnt charcoal stuck to the side of birch trees. It loves cold places like Siberia and North America, and for hundreds of years it's been brewed into a kind of tea in Russian and Asian folk medicine, mostly as a general wellness tonic.
All right, let's get into the good stuff, because a mushroom is only as good as its chemistry, right? What's actually inside this black gold that has scientists so interested? Let's break down the key active compounds that are really responsible for all this buzz. First up, we've got the polysaccharides, and specifically a type called beta-glucans. Now you can think of these as little messengers. They don't just blindly boost your immune system, which can be a clumsy approach. Instead, they interact with your immune cells and help to sort of train them for a smarter, more balanced response. It's all about modulation, not just brute force stimulation.
Next on the list are polyphenols and melanins. These are actually the compounds that give chaga that really distinct, dark, charcoal-like color. But way more importantly, they're incredibly powerful antioxidants. Their main job is to hunt down and neutralize these unstable little troublemakers in our bodies called free radicals, which can damage our cells. This antioxidant power is a huge cornerstone of chaga's reputation.
And finally, we have this fascinating group called triterpenoids. This includes some compounds that are unique to chaga itself, but also, and this is super interesting, some, like betulinic acid, that the fungus literally absorbs right from the birch tree it lives on. In a lab setting, these molecules have shown some really powerful anti-inflammatory and even anti-tumor activities.
So we know what's inside it. But what happens when scientists actually take these compounds and put them to the test in the lab? Well, the results are genuinely impressive. And this is where the modern hype really gets its fuel.
Now, what's so cool about this is that it shows chaga's two-pronged attack on cellular stress. First, it directly goes after and neutralizes those damaging free radicals we just talked about. But then it does something even smarter. It flips on our body's own internal defense system, a pathway called NRF2, which basically tells our cells to start making more of their own protective antioxidants. It's like this powerful one-two punch that we see in cell studies.
And that's just the beginning. Across a whole range of preclinical studies, and remember that means in petri dishes and in animals, chaga extracts have been shown to modulate key immune cells, dial down major inflammation signals, lower blood sugar and cholesterol in diabetic animals, and yes, even cause various cancer cells to stop growing and basically self-destruct. This is the solid scientific foundation for its modern reputation.
So, with all that impressive lab data, you'd think the case is closed, right? Well, this is where the story takes a huge, crucial turn.
So let's just think about this for a second. In the lab, it's a potent antioxidant, a powerful immune modulator, a strong anti-inflammatory. The science seems settled, but is it really?
No. And honestly, this is the single most important fact in the entire chaga story. For all of that incredible promise we see in a petri dish or a lab mouse, high-quality human clinical trials that actually confirm these benefits, they are almost completely missing from the picture.
Let's be crystal clear about what this means. There are no large-scale, randomized controlled trials, which are the absolute gold standard of medical evidence for chaga as a standalone supplement for any condition, period. Most of the human evidence is either just stories, historical records, or comes from studies on products where chaga is mixed with a bunch of other ingredients, making it impossible to know what's doing what. So the bottom line is,
We can't scientifically confirm any specific benefits, we don't know the effective doses, and we can't be sure about long-term safety in people. So how do we make sense of these two very different stories? On one side, you have this incredible lab promise. On the other, a huge lack of human proof. Let's put it all together and try to get a balanced, realistic picture of chaga as things stand today. This slide really illustrates the two sides of the coin perfectly. The promise column is jam-packed with everything we see in the lab. Potent antioxidant, powerful immune modulator, strong anti-inflammatory. But then you look at the precautions column, and that's the real-world reality. Chaga is very high in compounds called oxalates, which pose a legitimate risk to your kidneys. It has potential drug interactions, and then, towering over all of it is that massive issue, the lack of human proof.
And look, these safety concerns are not just theoretical. There are actual published case reports of people developing kidney failure from long-term heavy chaga use because of those oxalate crystals. Because it might lower blood sugar and affect blood clotting, it could dangerously interact with diabetes medication or blood thinners. And since it stimulates the immune system, anyone on immunosuppressant drugs needs to be extremely cautious. This is not some risk-free folk remedy.
So where does all of this leave us? Is chaga some kind of future super supplement, just waiting for the human trials to catch up to its incredible potential? Or is it a perfect, modern example of marketing hype just running way, way ahead of the actual scientific evidence? For right now, the most honest answer is that chaga is a fungus that's full of incredible promise, but it's still waiting for the proof to catch up.